Greetings, friends. It's me, Les. A year ago, I was asked to serve as the keynote presenter for the ABMP CE Summit. If you tuned in, you'll recall I made some bad jokes about ABMP not being able to afford a real keynoter. And then I was greatly benefited by having a conversation with 4 outstanding therapists about how they were navigating the struggles of COVID. We kind of wrapped by saying, we'll get through this and it will end. Well, the first insight you should take from that discussion is that Les is no epidemiologist, nor a very good prognosticator. And now fast forward a year. Here I am as the keynote speaker again. How does this happen again? Well, there's a saying in sports, the greatest ability is availability. And my price still fits the budget. Many keynote addresses are either A, the leader of the organization bragging about everything the organization did in the past year, or B, some celebrity or professional speaker delivering an inspirational talk. I am certainly not B. I do want you to know I can swim, just not very well. And while I am the president of ABMP, I have no desire to brag about what we've done in the last year. But I would like to talk about how we viewed the past year from our perspective. Just like last year, I felt it was important to hear from all of you as well. And so I got the opportunity to speak with the great Joan Laubacher, an ABMP member, massage therapist, and esthetician, who was part of our group chat that we had last year at the summit. Based on what you'll hear, I think Joan is a great representative of what massage therapists and body workers have been facing over the past year. The past 18 months have been a roller coaster ride, with waves of COVID cases and the hope and promise of vaccination, followed by hesitancy and outbreaks, breakthrough cases, and fights over wearing masks. It's all been a lot for us to digest and manage, let alone think about what role massage and bodywork can play and how we can thoughtfully encourage people to get back on our tables. So here's my conversation with Joan. Well, hi there, Joan. How are you?
Hi, Les. I'm doing well. It's great to see you.
Nice to see you. As we said, it's good to see each other a year later.
Yes.
That's not a small achievement as we get older and in the environment we've been in for the past year. So
yeah, no doubt.
How would you say your 2021 has been compared to last year?
Really good question. I'd say last year, nobody had the answers or knew what was going on. So there was always this element of stress. I'd say this year, we're under the illusion that we know what's going on. I'm not sure we still do. We do know a lot more. Obviously, my office setup is not as dramatic as it was in 2020. So I probably look like, I could be in bubble wrap and massive sanitation and hygiene, which was all necessary when we didn't know. So fortunately, a lot of that has been refined. I still think that folks are struggling to find terra firma, and where they find that is hopefully on the table. But once they get off, I think we're still all a little bit looking for calmness.
I couldn't agree more. And from a client perspective, I feel that way. And just getting massage, even after having been vaccinated, I've had therapists who say, you can leave your mask on, you can take your mask off. I'm going to have one on. I'm not going to have one on. And to me, that's just a snapshot of the way life is too. We're in a fully vaccinated office. We've been back in the office as of the beginning of September. And I would say about a third of the people wear masks, even though everyone is fully vaccinated. And so it kind of makes this, it feels like there's a moving target to a certain degree. Like, then I feel bad if I don't have one on. And then I stop and say, should I have one on? And so it's an interesting dynamic that we're all living through right now. And certainly it manifests as from a client perspective. And you're not only a massage therapist, you're an esthetician. And have you resumed your practice fully on the skincare side?
I did in September of 2020. And slowly people felt comfortable coming back to that. And a lot, obviously the mask did some issues and stress did some issues with people's skin. So it was great to be able to provide that, go bring back my products to sell at retail. All of that came back full force, which was great. I had to take everything offline with the Boulder County mask mandate for indoors, which I think was early September.
Mhm.
So that kind of put a kibosh on all my skincare services. It was unfortunate timing. I had planned in September to do a big skincare promotion tied with my retail. And it's like, okay, let's shift. So yeah, I think, that sense of adaptability is something we've all had to learn pretty quickly if we didn't have those tools before. I'd say most people are respectful of mandates, at least from my perspective of who's coming in here. But in terms of I'm not operating with full service. And with that mask mandate for indoors, I am losing those clients that just don't feel comfortable either breathing with a mask in the prone position, or they just maybe are immunocompromised. For various reasons, I have lost clients. So, it's really interesting. I looked at the numbers of what I did and like a snippet of time between March and August of 2020, and I can do March and August of 2021. And it's almost 55% greater, obviously, in 2021. And when the mask, get rid of your mask, that month just shot up like a volcano. So it's the direct correlation for people's comfort.
Mhm.
But I would say I have such forgiving, wonderful clients. They're fine wearing a mask. I only didn't wear a mask probably for about 3 weeks this summer. I just worked off of caution
Mhm.
and respect. And, and now we're all back to it. And I'm getting that respect from my clients. No one has batted an eye at it, which is great.
I think we're fortunate in the scenario that most of our clients are oriented towards that. And if you and I were talking and you were telling me about the restaurant you ran, we'd be having different conversations about
Absolutely.
willingness
Absolutely.
of people to accommodate or comply or be considerate of others. I think we're fortunately predisposed in many cases to having people who would be willing to understand the perspective and not get too hung up on what that means to them as some type of personal restriction or something like that as well.
Absolutely.
Have you gone as far as having a vaccine policy or inquiring or suggesting or mandating anything related to that?
No, I have not gone as far as requesting to see vaccination status. I work for myself. Everybody I don't take walk-ins. So that's a bit of an ease of safety. And everyone I have them sign off online. They schedule with me that I have a sentence that says, we are in a mask mandate. You're required to wear a mask. It comes up 3 times when they book the appointment, when they get the confirmation, and then the 24-hour notice. So it's no surprise for people. And they've obviously seen my practice before the pandemic and then during the pandemic to know that I take it very seriously, that I have sanitation that is extremely conservative because I want to be safe. I want my family to be safe, and I want my clients to be safe. So I have held off on requesting vaccination status just because I think I have enough in place to prepare that client to know where I am. I don't work with other people. I'm not an entity that's in a medical setting with lots of folks roaming about. If the Delta variant or another variant comes in as we move into winter, I'm going to look at my position on asking for vaccination status.
Sure. It's interesting because right now things are I've just seen the last couple of days, things are actually quieting down a little bit from where they were at the beginning of September.
Yeah.
But we know that there's a rhythm to this, and it would be foolish to assume that oh, this is it. I think we've done that a few times. We've been Charlie Brown in the football. We've been like, this is the time it's done. No, it's not. It's gonna, and certainly from a broader perspective, even if in your community or our state or our country we reach a certain threshold, it's a pandemic. It can spread. It's spread by travel, by people from different areas going to different places. So we're in a better place. I look at it as we're in a better place than we were a year ago.
Yeah.
But we're not. This isn't September or October of 2019. Either. It's like we're still in the midst of this.
Yes.
A personal question from a parenting standpoint: has it gotten easier for you over the last year? I know last year when we talked, it was you have middle schoolers, and you were. I think I specifically described you as having at least 3 jobs.
Yes, you did.
One of which is teacher. But tell me what that's been like.
Well, it turns out I'm not a very good teacher. I am so grateful. They're back full time, 5 days a week. They do have to wear a mask inside. And my kids have never had a problem with that. So fortunately, I don't struggle with them putting a mask on. They're becoming kids again. They want to go to school. They are participating in after-school activities, which didn't get to happen last year. It's joyful. And they are different beings this year, 2021, than they were last year, for sure. And we just had parent-teacher conferences, and everything in terms of feedback that we got as parents was positive, meaning they're participating, they're doing the work, they're actually turning most stuff in, but their emotional well-being is so much better. So I'm grateful.
My mom, I'm the youngest of 5, and my mom once said to us when we first had kids, children crave a routine.
Yeah.
And I think this last year has been a perfect example of that they appreciate and enjoy the regularity of this. And they also complain about it because that's what we all do because they're human, but they also appreciate the fact that I know what I'm doing every day. Yeah. And I know the routines and the norms, and I can navigate this. I also remember one time visiting a massage school and meeting a instructor, this lady who was just so impressive, and she had 5 sons, and I have 3 sons, but I don't know if we had all 3 at the time. I may have. And I said, "What is your advice?" And she said, "Keep them tired." And I found that to be the most valuable parenting advice I ever received. And that's a little bit baked into what you're talking about, which is, kids get tired going to school because they engage their brain, they're social, there's physical activity, they interact with others, et cetera. And everyone was on the sidelines for a year. And so this is just another aspect that says, returning to normal, whatever that is. In this circumstance, it's not 100%, but it's a lot better than it was for sure. And that's part of the reason why we made a decision to come back to the office, was because we knew that kids would be in school, and therefore it would be easier for the parents on our, part of our team that could navigate at least a few days a week of being in the office to help them also return to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah, and it's definitely the other parental advice I go by is always keep a picture of them as babies, because
to remind you why you kept them.
Yeah, you do love them. They are cute.
They are. Well, as our friend Kristen can attest to, it's the same with puppies. It's like they're adorable at the beginning for a reason. And that's to teach you patience and help you endure. And,
absolutely.
And mine are all grown now, and I can say it's worth every second. But yeah, it's very it's very grounding to me, certainly, to be able to establish that part of normalcy that helps you navigate the other parts in your practice and working with clients, and still, as you said, the indoor mask mandate that now throws a monkey wrench in terms of aesthetics. But you are one of the shining lights and examples that I've certainly used over the past year, and we appreciate you investing time with us to help others hear about some of these things too, because as we said last year, it's still the same. Yeah. We're all in this boat together, and none of us know exactly where we're going, but what we're trying to do is paddle, and we're staying afloat, and that's the important part. Absolutely. So Joan, I can't thank you enough for your time, and I look forward to the next time I see you, and it's not going to be a year from now, and it's going to be in person.
Fantastic.
Can I get on your calendar, even though I'm a new client? I have someone vouch for me. So.
Absolutely. I would love that. I'd be honored.
Thank you. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Take care.
Thanks. Well, as you heard Joan say, things have been better in 2021, but aren't quite what we'd call normal. I'm sure all of you heard things that rang familiar, and I want you to know that we view our job as to be a support system as you navigate through these interesting times. Our mission is to help create an environment that enables you to succeed in your practice, whether it's keeping you apprised of key regulatory and legislative actions, or partnering with the profession's brightest minds like this CE Summit, or developing new resources to support you in your practice, like pocket pathology and 5-minute muscles. This year, we commissioned a practitioner survey to better understand the attitudes and experiences of both ABMP members and non-members alike. It was especially helpful to hear from you all regarding the impact of COVID, as well as more typical survey content like demographics, economics, and all that good stuff. I wanted to share a couple insights today about things that I found interesting from the survey. First insight, COVID sucks. 41% of respondents reported making less than $12,500 in 2020, more than double the percentage reported in a typical year. In March of this year, 20% of practitioners were not currently practicing. We did do a follow-up survey later in the year and saw that that number had shrank, but nevertheless, it's a real reminder of how much COVID has impacted all of you as professionals. The top 3 challenges that were reported by therapists were 1, maintaining or growing my visibility in my profession, 2, finding new clients, and 3, finding training or continuing education resources for myself. Well, the good news is I can give you some help on number 3. We have a solution for that. Speaking of, survey respondents also indicated their favorite ABMP benefits are 1, liability insurance, always good to be protected. 2, the ABMP Education Center. 3, ABMP advocacy on behalf of the profession. 4, ABMP support and guidance regarding COVID-19. And 5, Massage and Bodywork magazine. And for a last insight, some great perspective regarding your career choice. On a scale from 1 to 10, the average score agreeing with the statement, "I am satisfied with my choice of career," was 8.8. I think that's pretty awesome. On a scale from 1 to 10, the average score agreeing with the statement, "My friends and family were supportive of my choice of career," was 8.5. That is very impressive. But what family member doesn't think that their relative becoming a massage therapist isn't a 10? I know in my case, that was pretty much universally saluted. The top 5 things that massage therapists and body workers reported as bringing them career satisfaction were, number 1, helping people. Number 2, having flexible hours. Number 3, being an independent business owner. Number 4, following my own path for what I want in my work. And number 5, having work that allows me to be creative. Like we have for the past 34 years, ABMP is here to support you as you do good work, help your clients, grow your business, and follow your own path. Enjoy the summit, and I wish you a healthy and happy year ahead.